What happened? That's my question. And I'm asking that question because there's a national emergency, people. Now, before I go into too much detail, I have to say my absence from YouTube, at least uploading, is for a reason. Aside from school and a minor problem in a relationship, nothing's really happened. I just haven't been uploading. So, yeah, let's dive into this. So, oh, that's right. This is a chicken that I drew yesterday and one that I drew on Valentine's Day. Oh, it gets better. Trust me. Yep. I've been drawing a lot. This is... I don't know if you can really see it, but this is a drawing of Carter that I drew yesterday. Yeah, I think it was yesterday. But anyways, national emergency. Emphasis on national emergency in quotes, because can you really call it an emergency if it's not really hurting anyone or going to be hurting anyone? I mean, let's think about this. Donald Trump thinks illegal immigration is a national emergency. Why? I don't know. I'm not Donald Trump, and I'm glad I'm not Donald Trump. Because if I were Donald Trump, I would be probably 10 times worse than him, because I don't know, I just don't seem like a good president, but that's besides the point. The point here is Donald Trump thinks we have a national emergency and that there's an invasion of illegal immigrants. Best case of overdramatic reaction I've ever seen. News broke yesterday around, I don't know, 9 a.m. or something. President Trump goes on live stream at 10 a.m. declaring, we have a national emergency. Drugs are pouring into this country like never before, believe me. And we have to make sure no one else comes in illegally. See, part of the reason there's so much illegal immigration is because of this thing called the American Dream. And another reason for that is the system's backed up. People don't want to wait. Oh my God. Appoint more immigration judges. Fix your fucked up system somehow. Do something. Anything. Ugh. It's shit like this that really, really makes me just want to go up to the White House and ask the president, what is going through your mind, sir? I mean, really. Oh, man. It's a mess, to put it lightly. Now, I've been largely absent on YouTube for this very reason. Because if I get on here and do a YouTube video every day about Trump, sure, it's great. Sure, it relieves some of the stress that I have to go through, but let's face it, it really doesn't help me long term, because then it just makes everything feel like it's moving much, much slower. Also, fun fact, all of my friends hate Trump. I am 100% with them. My family, on the other hand, God. My mom's side hates Trump, but my dad's side doesn't. At least the ones I've talked to recently. I haven't mentioned, well, I guess I did over the summer, and my grandfather seemed to not really have an opinion. I didn't ask him, but I really should because I'd like to know everyone's opinion. But it was December. It was a few days before Christmas when I remembered how much my father supports Trump. One of the reasons I cannot stand him. Oh my God. You see, Trump has divided the country, and I think we've also divided ourselves. But I was in a political discussion with my dad, my aunt, and my uncle. It did not go well for me. I either didn't have enough information or was just outnumbered in the argument. Hell, I even knew I was in deep shit when I tried bringing it up on the car ride home. I was like, oh God, what am I doing? What am I doing? But yeah, I've learned now that there's no point in arguing with a Trump supporter. Because in my mind, they're fucking crazy. Now, that isn't really meant as an insult for all of them, just the diehard ones. I cannot wait to just get the hell out of here. Because, I mean, most of the shit Trump's done is going to take, oh, I don't know, a few years, maybe the rest of my life to undo. And let's face it, it's Donald Trump. Let's say one of his supporters becomes president. God forbid that happens, but let's just say it does. What would you do? I don't know what I would do, but I know that I don't know. I don't know what I know, but all right. Let's try and shift topics here cuz I don't know if that's going to work, but in other fucked up news, because that seems to be a recurring theme on this channel nowadays, is that workplace shooting in Illinois. Let's see if it's still in the news. I mean, let's see if it's still in the headlines, because oh, it's mostly just Trump stuff. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Well, all right. Politico says in an article why Trump's going to win on the national emergency. Let me just say, he's not going to. I don't know why he thinks he's going to win, but crap. Oh well. He doesn't say he's gonna win. He says he's gonna win, but there's one arena where the president always succeeds, getting the Republican Party to abandon its principles. I want the Republican Party to abandon Trump at this point. I mean, I really do. Okay. All through the 2016 campaign, Donald Trump warned about the menace of immigration by reciting the lyrics of a song called The Snake about a kind woman who takes a snake into her home, only to die when he bites her. The snake tells the woman, "You knew I was a snake before you took me in." Oh, yeah, quote. "You knew I was a snake before you took me in," end quote. Okay, good to know. What does it have to do with illegal immigration? Nothing. But enough of that. It's now clear that, consciously or not, Trump was delivering a warning to the Republican Party about what he was going to do with it. 2 years into his administration, Trump has recognized the institutional power of the Republican Party has all the effectiveness of the imaginal line. He can ignore its leaders, scorn them, or just smash through them with no lasting political damage. That's way too. That's just so true. It's not even funny. Trump's declaration of a national emergency along the U.S.-Mexico border is a high point, or low point, of a familiar pattern that is right out of Groundhog Day or the Netflix series Russian Doll. Again and again, Trump embraces a policy or reveals a character trait that hits at the heart of what the Republican Party claims to stand for. In response, there's unhappiness, even anger, but never action. Yes. If you think the Republicans in Congress are going to stand up to Trump's fake national emergency in order to defend the party's long-held principles or to assert the constitutional authority of the legislative branch, you haven't been paying attention for the last 3 years. Trump said he would win so much that you would get tired of winning. The lone arena in which this is objectively true is how he has imposed his will on his fellow Republicans who have surrendered abjectly to him. All right, that's... Ugh. Okay, that's why on the national emergency, Trump is about to win again. Okay, Republican office holders like me and Susan Collins will surely reach for the thesaurus to find appropriate adjectives. Troubling, boring, unsettling. The naysayers will look over their shoulders at a party base that stands solidly behind the president, and when the rubble clears, Trump will still be standing in another key element of the... Hang on. Catchism, this time limited constitutional government with separation of powers that was outlined by James Madison and other framers will be in ruins. Okay. At times, it's possible to imagine the president almost willfully testing his power or party, musing about whether there's any part of its belief system that he cannot compel Republicans to abandon. Is character key to a good leader? White evangelicals who once overwhelmingly supported that proposition now reject it by landslide margins. Are deficits a mortal danger to the national economic health? Are international alliances crucial to national security? Yes, they are. All right, that's all I'm going to read on that article because it kills me. I mean, it really does.
Closely with China and President Xi, who I respect a lot. Very good relationship that we have, and we're a lot closer.
Okay, this video is by CBS News. I'm just gonna play it.
The partial government shutdown could protest across the country.
Barrier. Everybody wants.
We have to
Food on the
skip through it.
I would say, and crime network.
Oh, The Daily Show. This is a pretty good source.
Why is everybody so confident? It's Paris, bitch, and I'm back because I've never been gone.
That's just a TikTok ad.
The phrase that everyone has been talking about is national emergency.
The president has warned he might declare a national emergency going around Congress to get his border wall built. President Trump is prepared to do what's necessary.
We have a national crisis.
We can call a national emergency because of the security of our country. Absolutely. No, we can do it. I haven't done it. I may do it. I may do it.
Isn't it comforting to have a president who always sounds like a guy on a ledge? I'll do it, man. Don't come any closer. I'll do it. All I want to do
build a wall, man. Nobody listen, man. I'll do it.
But that's right. Trump has claimed that as president, he can declare illegal immigration as a national emergency. And then he wouldn't need congressional approval to build the wall. He could just do it himself, right? Well, not himself. I mean, he's never done manual labor in his life. Right? Like, I bet if he tried to build the wall, that would be a disaster. He'd be like, and what's this again? He'd be like, that's a brick, Mr. President. Like, do I eat it?
The Washington Post
Signing a
made this video.
national emergency. And it's been signed many times before. It's been signed
Published yesterday.
by other presidents. From 1977 or so, it gave the presidents the power. There's rarely been a problem. They signed it. Nobody cares. I guess they weren't very exciting. But nobody cares. They signed it for far less important things in some cases, in many cases. We're talking about an invasion.
Okay, hang on. I just gotta try and take a picture of something. There's a bird. See it? Might be very hard to see, but it's on that branch right there. All right, maybe if I put the flash on it. All right, can you see it now? Oh, well. Yeah, it just moved. Okay. Back to the video.
Of our country with drugs, with human traffickers, with all types of criminals and gangs. Mr. President, what do you say to those, including some of your Republican allies, who say that you are, but the courts would say, oh, if you use it for this, now what criminals coming into our country? But the Constitution with this move and setting a bad precedent that will be abused by possibly Democratic presidents in the future. Marco Rubio. Well, not too many people. Yeah, not too many.
I gotta go get something real quick. I'm back. Yep.
Powering on. Welcome to Alltech Lansing.
People have said that, but the courts will determine that. Look, I expect to be sued. I shouldn't be sued. Very rarely do you get sued when you do national emergency. And then other people say, oh, if you use it for this, now what are we using it for? We've got to get rid of drugs and gangs and people. It's an invasion. We have an invasion of drugs and criminals coming into our country that we stop, but it's very hard to stop. With a wall, it would be very easy. So,
All right, let me just say something. A wall can't stop a plane. A wall can't stop a boat. A wall can stop a car, people, a train, a truck, anything that's on land. But it can't stop anything that can go over the wall or around it.
we will be very successful in court. I think it's clear. And the people that say we create precedent, well, what do you have, 56 or a lot of times? Well, that's creating precedent.
Oh.
So I'm going to be of drugs and criminals as important than having a ball. It would be very easy. So I think that we will be very successful in court. think it's clear. And the people that say we create precedent, well, what do you have, 56 or a lot of times? Well, that's creating precedent. And many of those are far less important than having a border. You don't have a border, you don't have a country. You know, we fight before I got here. We fight all over the world to create borders for countries, but we don't create a border for our own country. So I think what will happen is sadly we'll be sued, and sadly it'll go through a process, and happily we'll win, I think.
Will you concede that you were unable to make the deal that you
I made a deal. I got almost $1.4 billion.
All right, let's watch the full speech.
We have a large team of very talented people. In China, we've had a negotiation going on for about 2 days. It's going extremely well. Who knows what that means, because it only matters if we get it done, but we're very much working very closely with China and President Xi, who I respect a lot. Very good relationship that we have. And we're a lot closer than we ever were in this country with having a real trade deal. We're covering everything, all of the points that people have been talking about for years that said couldn't be done, whether it was theft or anything. The unfairness. We've been losing, on average, $375 billion a year with China. A lot of people think it's 506 billion. Some people think it's much more than that. We're going to be leveling the playing field. The tariffs are hurting China very badly. They don't want them. And frankly, if we could make the deal, it'd be my honor to remove them. But otherwise, we're having many billions of dollars pouring into our treasury. We've never had that before with China. It's been very much of a one-way street. So that's happening. And the relationship with China is very good. But I think they finally respect our country. They haven't respected us for a long time. Not for a long time. The UK and the US, as you probably have been seeing and hearing, we're agreeing to go forward and preserve our trade agreement. You know all of the situation with respect to Brexit. And
All right, before we go any further, I've watched this speech once already. Oh, God. Buckle up. It's a long one. It's 50 minutes and 4 seconds. Almost an hour. Dear God, help us.
complexity and the problems, but we have a very good trading relationship with UK, and that's just been strengthened further. So with the UK, we're continuing our trade, and we are going to actually be increasing it very substantially as time goes by. We expect that the UK will be very, very substantially increased as it relates to trade with the United States. The relationship there also is very good. We have a lot of great announcements having to do with Syria and our success with the eradication of the caliphate, and that'll be announced over the next 24
They're not
hours.
gone yet.
And many other things. A lot of positive things are going on. We're working on a summit, and you know all about the summit. It'll be in Vietnam, Hanoi, and we'll be meeting in Hanoi. I think a lot of you will be going, I suspect. And I hope we have the same good luck as we had in the first summit. A lot was done in the first summit. No more rockets going up, no more missiles going up, no more testing of nuclear. Get back our remains, the remains of our great heroes from the Korean War. And we got back our hostages. But we hope we're going to be very much equally as successful. I'm in no rush for speed. We just don't want testing. The sanctions, as you know, remain. Everything is remaining. China's been helping us, and Russia's been helping us. And South Korea, I think you could say, has been, we've been working very closely with South Korea, with Japan. But China, Russia on the border have really been at least partially living up to what they're supposed to be doing, and that's okay, as per the United Nations. So we will have a meeting on the 27th and 28th of February, And I think that will be a very successful family in the United States. They have really taken it to Russia and China and because we have tremendous amounts of drugs and registry, national emergency. And it's a great thing to do because we have an invasion of drugs, invasion of gangs, invasion of people, and it's unacceptable. And by signing the national emergency, something signed many times by other presidents, many times. President Obama, in fact, we may be using one of the national emergencies that he signed having to do with cartels, criminal cartels. It's a very good emergency that he signed, and we're going to use parts of it in our dealings on cartels. So that would be a second national emergency, but in that case, it's already in place.
This country is in a national emergency right now because Trump is the national emergency.
And what we really want to do is simple. It's not like it's complicated. It's very simple. We want to stop drugs from coming into our country. We want to stop criminals and gangs from coming into our country. Nobody's done the job that we've ever done. I mean, nobody's done the job that we've done on the border. And in a way, what I did by creating such a great economy, and if the opposing party got in, this economy would be down the tubes. You know, I hear a lot of people say, oh, well, but maybe the previous administration. Let me tell you, the previous administration, getting such a strong economy, you just look at your televisions and see what's going on today, it's through the roof. What happens is more people want to come. So we have far more people trying to get into our country today than probably we've ever had before. And we've done an incredible job in stopping them, but it's a massive number of people. If we had...
Hey, they want to come in, so just let them in. But let them in legally.
Wall, it would be very easy. We would make up for the cost of the wall just in the cost of the fact that I would be able to have fewer people. We would get thousands of law enforcement people in Clinton. And I want to thank the simple slogan, make America the border in areas where we have no yet. But we've done a fantastic job, but we haven't been given the equipment. We haven't been given the walls. And in the bill, by the way, they didn't even what to do with all the money they're giving us. It's crazy. The only place they don't want to give us much money, $1,375,000,000. Sounds like a lot, but it's not so much, although we're putting it to much better use than it used to be. A lot of the past administrations, it was easy to get, they didn't build, or they didn't do what they could have done. It would have been great. Would have been great to have done it earlier. I was a little new to the job, a little new to the profession. And we had a little disappointment for the first year and a half. People that should have stepped up did not step up. They didn't step up, and they should have. Would have been easy. Not that easy, but it would have been a lot easier. But some people didn't step up. But we're stepping up now. So we have a chance of getting close to $8 billion. Whether it's $8 billion or $2 billion or $1.5 billion, pretty soon. So, and we need new wall. So I want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank in particular the angel moms and dads for being here. Thank you very much. We have great respect for you. The real country, our real country, the people that really love our country, they love you. So I just want you to know that. I know how hard you fight. And I know how hard a fight you're having. I also want to thank all of the law enforcement for the job you do. Believe me, our country loves you and they respect you greatly. And we're giving you a lot of surplus. We're giving you surplus military equipment, which a lot of people didn't like giving previous to this administration. But hundreds of millions of dollars of surplus equipment. And as we get it, as you know, we send it down. And you have much better protection.
Okay, can we just get to the point?
I really appreciate you being here. So the order is signed. and I'll sign the final papers as soon as I get into the Oval Office, and we will have a national emergency, and we will then be sued, and they will sue us in the Ninth Circuit. Even though
Oh
it
God,
shouldn't be
wait for it.
there, and we will possibly get a bad ruling, and then we'll get another bad ruling, and then we'll end up in the Supreme Court, and hopefully we'll get a fair shake, and we'll win in the Supreme Court, just like the ban. They sued us in the Ninth Circuit, and we lost, and then we lost in the appellate division, and then we went to the Supreme Court, and we won. And it was very interesting because yesterday we have a national emergency, and we will then be sued, and they will sue us in the Ninth Circuit, even though it shouldn't be there, and we will possibly get a bad ruling, and then we'll get another bad ruling, and then we'll end up in the Supreme Court, and hopefully we'll get a fair shake, and we'll win in the Supreme Court, just like the ban. They sued us in the Ninth Circuit, and we lost, and then we lost in the appellate division, and then we went to the Supreme Court, and we won. And it was very interesting because yesterday they were talking about the ban, because we have a ban. It's very helpful, Madam Secretary. Is that right? Without the ban, would have.
All right, that's it. That was crazy. I mean, really. Well, what do I do now? That was pretty crazy, but I think we can top that.
I'm James. I'm a field technician with Charter. Charter is a
That's an
fantastic place
ad.
to work.
Don't
The
worry
company
about
takes
it.
care of you more than any other company I've ever worked for. Charter just bumped up everybody's wage to $15 an hour as a minimum. I really can't say enough about how much this company takes care of my family.
This is oh, never mind. All right. Huh. I don't really know what to talk about anymore. The weather's been nice. Valentine's Day was lovely. Yeah. I guess that's it. This has been a crazy live stream. I'm probably going to do one later.